And then Samantha's like, ooh, I think we all need some fresh cracked pepper. Then Charlotte's like, Samantha, stop! Welcome to Mythical Kitchen, where dreams are slowly turning into nightmares. We're fine. We're fine. All right, so we are still under quarantine. Don't leave the house. And today we're gonna figure out a couple ways to use a bag of rice. This is what I've been training for the whole time. This is like the red dawn of cooking. Wolverines, baby. We're gonna transform this into some tasty and probably pretty edible, nutritious dishes. So we're gonna do 3 different dishes today, and the time codes for all of them are right there. Let's rice it up! In quarantine times, we huddle over the boiling pot of water for warmth. So basic rice cookery. I think a lot of new cooks especially are freaked out about cooking rice. I know I screw up steamed rice all the time, but that's not the only way to cook rice. The easiest way to cook rice, check this out. It's a really, really complex process. You got a pot of boiling water and you got some rice and you go, and that's gonna turn into rice in like 10 to 15 minutes. You can treat rice literally like any pasta. You just boil it, you strain it, and then you have a bunch of cooked rice that you can use for whatever. It's fun. Rice is fun. Rice is the opportunity of food, and opportunity is the success of trying. And milk is just cow. Yeah, so when you're making steamed rice, you have to worry about the proportions of water to rice. Some go 1 to 1, some go half to 1. With this, just make sure you have a ton of water and not as much rice. If you have like a giant stock pot, Ryan doesn't have a giant stock pot. Thanks, Ryan. Really just cooking for one? You lonely or what? Anyway, so when you're just boiling rice like this, you don't really need to worry about the proportions. It's the same thing as like pasta, right? You just fill the pot up with a bunch of water, pour some of the grains in there, and then you strain it off. I'm doing it. We're carbing up. We're carbing up for the apocalypse. Let's do it.
It's not called the apocalypse.
Yeah, no, it's not the apocalypse. It's like what's a good word? It's like a temp-pocalypse, you know? It's like it's an apocalypse only for a little bit, and then things are gonna get better. Taste the rice. You can tell if it's cooked or not. That rice is definitely cooked. There's a little bit of al dente, which in Italian means the rice is ready. You know what's funny? I actually took a quarter of Italian in college. Remember nothing. Okay, so you gotta drain your rice. So you're gonna take some cold water and just spray it over your rice. It's gonna stop the cooking process. It's also gonna separate the grains a little bit, and then you can use the rice for whatever. And we plan on using the rice for whatever, because we're almost out of groceries. And then first up, we're gonna do a cheesy rice casserole. I'm gonna eat a lot of cheese during this quarantine. I'm not worried about the lack of toilet paper because that stops me right up. It's like how a bear, when it hibernates, it'll take little twigs and stuff and it'll shove it in its... That's what I'm gonna do with this big old brick of cheddar cheese. We're starting kind of like the basis of a mac and cheese. I'm not gonna make a roux or anything because we found a really amazing product. What an incredible find at the grocery store. We got Kraft Deli Deluxe. Every piece of Kraft American Singles was out of the grocery store except for the Deli Deluxe. Good thing about that is you can melt it directly into milk because there's so many stabilizers in it. We're also gonna make some cheesy rice muffins because like, screw it, why not? We're here. And also we got a little casserole dish. So you can do it like multiple ways. You know, you are the kingdom of your own rice domain. And you're also the king of your house because you can't leave it. All right, so we got the milk melting. Some milk melting. Words. And we're just gonna start winging slices of American cheese into that. Whiskey business. We're gonna crack a couple eggs into this bowl. And then you're gonna take some rice. Gotta dump some of that in there. There's no measuring here. We'll try and do our best in the description to come up with an actual recipe, but just try and follow what we're doing. You know you want egg and rice in there, and it doesn't really matter the proportions. I want some more rice though. Ryan, we gotta cook more rice, dude, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, let's make it all. And this is almost like tempering an egg like you would for a custard, except not like that at all. I think I added too much milk. Yeah, way too much milk. We're gonna be eating rice and cheese for days. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw all the American cheese in there. That's happening now. If you ever make too much, you can always freeze it. This is something that you don't have to worry about anything wilting because it's literally just carbs and a bunch of processed cheese in there. So honestly, this will stay literally forever in your freezer. I'm gonna take some cheese. I'm gonna add it directly to the rice and egg. Right, I think we're gonna run out of real estate in this bowl. I'm not worried about it though. All right, what do we got? Pepper. There's a scene in Sex and the City where they're like, how big is it? And then like, there's a waiter just like cracking pepper and Carrie just looks at the pepper grinder and it's like, and then Samantha's like, ooh, I think we all need some fresh cracked pepper. Then Charlotte's like, Samantha, stop! Ow! Oh, not used to cooking with gas anymore. So you so you got, your hands are a little burnt. You can't go to the hospital. You're fine. And we're just gonna take this and we're gonna pour it into our rice, cheese, and egg. That's looking good. This is about what we want. And then it's gonna gurgle and burp a little bit. It's like the way that like when you make sauerkraut, if you watch Bradley, you know, these videos, he talks about like burping the sauerkraut. You wanna burp your rice cheese. All right, so now we're gonna take this, and we're just gonna pour it into our casserole dish. And then let's make some muffins, just see what happens. Ryan, I don't know what's gonna happen to this. This is nonstick, right?
Hope so.
Hell yeah. If there's ever a mistake that you make in the kitchen, just top it with a lot of cheese. It's a great fail-safe. It's like guessing C on a standardized test. Also, I dropped out of college, so don't trust me on that. You want to press some of the cheese into the edges to get it nice and crispy. Don't touch the burning pot, because that hurts. It's gonna take years to clean this thing after we're done, man. There's gonna be burnt cheese everywhere. I'm sorry, dude.
I got time.
What kind of, you taking up any cool hobbies during the quarantine?
Doing a little right.
Sounds boring. We did it! What were you expecting? Something different? Nah, we did this. And whoa, oh, there it goes. So we're gonna let that bake for about, what, like 34 minutes? We're gonna let that bake for exactly 34 minutes at 400 degrees till the cheese is nice and crispy. A lot of the liquid soaked up. It's able to slice it into some bars. We got our beautiful crustless, low-carb rice quiche, except for all the carbs from the rice. We gotta take the cheesy rice casserole out of the oven. In my head, I was like, yeah, do you think you got a Zoidberg impression up there? Yeah, probably. And then found out, no, I don't. Oh yeah, the cheese is nice and browned on those little rice muffins. And then let's take out the big boy. That is super crusty. You got, it's like, this is like struggle lasagna. Like you got your delicious corner pieces there, but I want to see if I can lift one of these muffins right out of the tin and just give it a taste. Yeah, the cheese is stuck a little bit, but this dislodges pretty clean. Look at that, that's just a cheesy ricey muffin. I want to eat this. It really did form almost like a quiche. You had all the cheese, all the rice in there. It literally almost tastes like you're eating a quiche. Then it has all the flavors of mac and cheese in there. It's incredible. It's like super kid friendly, and I'm basically like a giant baby adult. Oh man, I want to dip this in ketchup. You got ketchup? Yep, this is the ticket. What can I say? This is great. They're good in the freezer. You can just pop it right back in the oven to warm it up. All right, I'm all full of rice and cheese. On to the next one. We're making rice porridge. If you would eat oatmeal for breakfast, then like why not rice meal, right? So that's what we're doing today. We're gonna cook a bunch of rice in milk, and then we're gonna thicken up with peanut butter and bananas because we got bananas and they're going pretty old. So we're gonna get a lot of whole milk boiling in that pot. Then we're gonna add our rice directly to that. And you don't wanna add too much rice because rice is really gonna cook down and all the starch is gonna thicken up the milk. So it's gonna become like a congee. If you think of like a Chinese rice porridge, a lot of Filipino rice porridges out there. We're doing that, but sweet and breakfasty. So we're just gonna scoop some rice in there. Gonna put my bananas right into that pot. To me though, this is like the perfect ripeness of a banana. Whenever we get bananas in the office, back when we used to go into an office, everyone would like, you know, take the prematurely ripe ones, but I would stash them away and hide them in a deep dark corner until they become like this color. And then I just eat the delicious half rotten ones. Take the bananas, ow, that's hot, dude. You gotta do it up high so the fire doesn't burn you. But then the milk splash is gonna burn you. Just use a knife, you're just gonna slice up the bananas. This is like such a grandma method of cutting things that I don't ever do. The old like brace with your thumb and kind of like press the knife against your finger. A great way to not clean a cutting board. Ah, the fire. We got bananas in there, we got our rice. We're also gonna dump in some raisins.
Your hand's blocking the...
Your hand's blocking the pot! Reset. So you're just gonna go ahead and take some raisins, just claw them out of the bag. This bag's probably about a year old, so it's just like kind of like a brick, and then just continue to whisk, and then the rice is eventually gonna tighten up that milk. We're gonna add some peanut butter at the end. You don't wanna add the peanut butter too early because then it can risk kind of breaking and seizing a little bit. You can throw in your fridge, it'll last for a long time if you throw a bunch of sugar in it, and then you can even freeze it and then just pop it in the microwave. Like, you know, it's like your own little instant oatmeal, except it's instant porridge. I think the porridge industry is gonna be booming after all this, man. Because people are gonna come out of this and be like, yo, I've been eating porridge for 3 weeks and I am fitter and leaner than ever. All right, bring that up to a boil. And now we wait. Ryan, there's a lot of waiting in the rice episode.
Noticed.
You wanna watch Sex and the City?
Which one?
We could do the movie.
I've never seen the movie.
Me neither. Date night. All right, so you can see the porridge. It's been simmering away just for maybe like 15 minutes. It's gotten nice and thick. We're gonna thicken it up a little bit more. So we're gonna add a little bit of sugar in there. Add however much you want, however much sugar you feel comfortable eating. And thicken it up even more. I love bananas and peanut butter. It is my favorite combo in the entire world. A lot of times for meal, I'll just take banana and smear peanut butter all over it and then just rub that all over my face. Peanut butter, anytime you add it to any sauce or like something like this, it's just gonna thicken it up in such an awesome way. I think people need to just add peanut butter to more sauces and in stews and soups. Throw some peanut butter in your Campbell's tomato soup. At this point, like, you're running through all the Netflix shows. You gotta start throwing peanut butter in soup for entertainment. See what happens. You might like it. All right, so that is a beautiful porridge consistency, and we're gonna do one more thing. We're gonna make a little topping for our porridge. So we're gonna take some frozen blueberries. I like to have frozen fruit on hand at all times. It's just a great thing. If you're too lazy to go out there and buy fruit during normal times, or too afraid of the hordes in these times. Hold on, I don't have dexterous fingers. So all you gotta do is dump some blueberries in the pot, add a little spoonful of sugar. This is gonna melt down and create a nice little like blueberry sauce topping. If you have any like cinnamon you wanna throw in, do that, you know? Do whatever you want. A little bit of lemon zest, ooh, that would be so good. You can also freeze lemon zest, you know that? The only things I can think of that like wouldn't freeze would be things like, you know, lettuces and stuff. So we're gonna ladle up some of this porridge. Yeah, look at that. That's a good porridge if I ever seen one. Yeah, get yourself a nice hefty serving. Awesome, look at that. And then once this is done, we're just gonna top it with some of that blueberry sauce. It's gonna be nice and beautiful. Smash those bloobs up. Smashing bloobs. That sounds like a punk band. You got like the Dropkick Murphys and Smashing Bloobs. You see Green Room?
Yeah.
What a movie, man. Almost done, almost done. Just want the sauce to tighten up a little bit more. Right now it's a little bit runny, but with the sugar in there, it's gonna kind of turn into a little bit of like a bloob caramel. A bloob caramel in French. A bloob. Smash it, the bloobs. All right, the blueberry sauce is nice and tightened up. So we're just gonna take a little bit of this. I'm gonna put this over here. Gonna put that over there. So we're just gonna take some blueberries, a little bit of that sauce, and ladle it right on top of the porridge. There is your banana peanut butter breakfast porridge, a little bit of blueberry compote on top. That's gonna be super delicious. What a nice way to start your day. You know, you open up the news, it's some nice cheery news out there, and then you got a steaming bowl of porridge to enjoy. All right, let's give this a taste. Oh yeah. The texture on the porridge is awesome. The rice is like broken down. It literally tastes like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in soup porridge form, which I am absolutely in love with because I love all those flavors completely. I like that the blueberries aren't mixed in because then you get like the little contrast. So the peanut butter and banana and the blueberries on top. That's fantastic. What a great way to start your day. I'm literally gonna be eating this for the next week and a half every morning, and I've never been more excited about a porridge in my life, and I've been excited about a lot of porridges. All right, so we're making freezer scrap fried rice. Technically, we're making freezer scrap almost everything here. This is a great way to get random vegetables into yourself and your loved ones. Get vegetables into your loved ones. So this is just a nonstick skillet, and we're just gonna pour a fair amount of oil right in there. We want the oil to get screaming hot. The goal here, and it's inevitably gonna happen, is that your vegetables are gonna start to steam a little bit, and that's gonna like reduce some crispiness. So you just keep cranking the heat, cooking the rice down, you're gonna get a little bit of crisp on it, and it's gonna soak up the oil. Typically, you wouldn't wanna take oil to what's called the smoke point, but like, you're making fried rice, let it smoke a little bit. Vegetables we're working with right now, you can use literally anything. Take stuff from your freezer. Those frozen vegetable medleys are great, and what's typically used in like a Chinese takeout fried rice. We don't have one of those, and we couldn't find them, so we're using onion, purple cabbage, and green beans. If you've been following along with the whole series, you might say, wow, Josh, that's the same vegetables you use for other things. Yeah, that's all I could find at the store, so that's what we're working with. But use literally anything you got. Yours are just straight up frozen. You can add them straight into there. Don't worry about microwaving it beforehand. All right, so we're gonna add our cabbage to that oil. We're gonna start frying up all nice like. We're gonna add our onions. And then since there's a little bit of moisture in the green beans, it might flare up a little bit, but we're fine. Just gonna stir that around. Keep cranking the heat. Your heat can never be too hot for fried rice. That's probably a lie. Like anything can be too hot for anything. So the order that you put things into fried rice, I always like to go vegetables first into the oil. That kind of gets all the flavor infused into there. And the rice is already cooked, so the vegetables you want to actually soften before you put the rice in there. That way when you add the rice, you can just kind of worry about getting that crisped up. So you add in your sauces after the rice. We're just gonna do soy sauce, a little bit of honey for sweetness, and then the dregs of Ryan's sriracha sauce. Sorry dude, I'm using all your sriracha.
Okay.
Ooh, and then we're gonna add an egg after. You'll see, just watch the tape. Watch the game film and you'll see what the real story is. Remember game film? Remember sports? That was crazy, dude. All right, so this is heated back up. You can see everything's fried up really nicely, got a little bit of browning on it. And we're just gonna add our rice. And now you just start mixing around. You wanna coat all the rice in the oil. So give it like one quick little coat. And then you're gonna try and spread it out evenly across the pan to let as much rice touch the pan as possible. And then we're not gonna touch it for a second. We're just gonna leave that. Occupy yourself for like 20 seconds. You know what I was thinking? It's a pity that Guy Fieri's too good at his job. Because now on every Food Network show, he's like the host of it because he's the kingpin, he's the biggest draw. But that means he can't be a competitor. So in like Food Network's Tournament of Champions, right, Guy Fieri's the host. And they got all like the lesser chop judges, Alex Corner-Shelley, Mark Murphy, Rocco DiSpirito. But I want to see Guy. I want to see Guy throw off the freaking gloves, go in there and cook, because he can actually cook. He's bullish, man. He's a competitor. You gotta be. Having a non-stick skillet really helps. Again, you don't need a wok. You can almost treat this like a wok as long as you don't overcrowd it. Guy Fieri's restaurant, well, he's not affiliated anymore. Tex Wasabi's Rockin' Sushi and Barbecue. Dude, really good. They make barbecue sushi where they take like the soy paper and they wrap up pulled pork and avocado and chipotle crema. Also, I know cruise ships have been in the news. I don't know what for, but Guy's Burger Grill on Carnival Cruise Line, they make a mean burger. Tickets are real cheap right now. I'm gonna go ahead and push this to the side. This is a really important step in my opinion. I don't like to mix the egg completely into the rice. I like to crack the egg in there, half scramble it, then incorporate it. So you're gonna crack the egg. If some of it gets mixed in the rice, totally cool. But I just like to keep it a little bit separate so you get like those big egg chunks. Cause I'm thinking like Panda Express style fried rice here. We get some solid chunkage. All right, so it's kind of half scrambled and then you're gonna fold it in there and give it another toss. And you see we got some nice chunks of egg. You can add a little bit of kind of textural difference. The only thing left to do is season this. So we're gonna do a fair amount of soy sauce in there. That's gonna be your main flavor component. Then a little bit of honey just for sweetness, just a tiny bit. And then sriracha, because like spice of life, right? It'll get you going. It's starting to look like fried rice. So we're just gonna plate this up. There is your vegetable scrap fried rice. Great way to use up literally anything you have. If you have some meat scraps, throw that in there, some bacon, you wanna fry the rice in bacon fat, do whatever you want. Hopefully you learned something from this technique. Wish we had meat. All right, there you have it. You got breakfast, lunch, and dinner all from one bag of rice and whatever you have laying around. If you guys make any of these, hit me up at Mythical Kitchen on Instagram with hashtag #DreamsBecomeFood. Hopefully you can cook these for yourself, friends, loved ones, whomever. If you have any questions about how to cook using random scraps that you can find, because I'd like to think I'm pretty good at that, hit me up at Mythical Chef on Twitter. I'll answer any questions you guys have. I'll see you next time. You can cook up your own feast while wearing the Mythical Kitchen apron, available now at mythical.com.